I'm not able to have the time to go over each of the disciplines, but now remember, when you think about them, be clear on what it is. Clear on what it is. Don't allow yourself to be confused on that. And each of these disciplines that I put on the board, in the spirit of the discipline, I've discussed each one of them, and in each one of them I try to discuss what it is, and then what does it do? What does it do? And hopefully you will be able to answer those questions, and then the next step is simply put them in practice and learn from them. Now, here's a little scratchy outline of how you do it. And the first thing you do is you decide to live as Jesus' student. You can't get very far if you start messing with disciplines, just sort of to see what happens. That's the first step. So now, why is that the first step? Well, now you are a student. You're a student now. You're learning. And so you begin to obey his teachings. That's the next step. You don't start by doing disciplines. You begin by trying to obey his teachings. Okay? Now, when you do that, you will fail. Right? So your next step is observe why you fail. If you are unable, for example, we've just been talking about something we might call sexual purity. If you're unable to do that, there is a reason why. Observe why. That may be something like simple habits. You may have a habit of looking at things which you shouldn't be looking at. And so then you have to work that through. And you may have to decide, well, it isn't necessarily a good thing to just look at everything you can look at. Think every thought you can think. And then you may say, well, but I'm an American. I have a right. I have a right to do that. You have a right to do that. And you also have a right to have the consequences. See, that's one of the things about choice is you're free to choose in some cases, but you do not choose the consequences of your choice. So observe why. Then do in reliance upon the Spirit what will remove the cause of the failure. And those will be disciplines of some sort. Remember, a discipline is something in your power that you do to enable yourself to do what you can't do by direct effort. Right? Now, this list I've given you isn't a complete list. Maybe the thing which would be most helpful to you isn't on that list. I don't know. Maybe no one else has tried it. That's okay. What's important is that it helps you deal with this issue of failure. Now then, the same thing will repeat with the discipline. Okay, so now you try to fast and you fail. Why did you fail? See, the secret of the spiritual life is not if at first you don't succeed, try again. It is, if at first you don't succeed, find out why you fail, fix it, and then try again. That's the way it works.
So you don't fail at fasting because you're hungry?
No. You failed because of how you were, perhaps how you were thinking about hunger. Like if you have the habit of thinking, oh, I'm hungry, I must eat something. Well, you're going to have to break that habit. Train yourself to think when you feel hungry. We're really getting somewhere now. I welcome hunger. So you have to do that, or something like that. You learn you won't die if you don't eat. So this is just a little pattern. How do you practice the disciplines? You start with a decision to be a disciple. You begin to try to obey his teachings. You've probably already done that many times, so you're familiar with it. You observe why you fail, which you will certainly do. And then you will do in reliance on the Spirit what would remove the causes of the failure. Again, that's a fairly general sort of way of going about things.